Hey guys, welcome back to my NFL content. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of glad that I got to. If you guys have seen my past videos, you know that I was gonna do this on my phone, which would suck. So I'm kind of happy right now because I can do this on my computer. If you haven't seen those videos and you're confused, I'm not gonna elaborate on it to make you even more confused. Anyways, so I'm gonna be doing quarterback rankings. I've gotten down all the stats for either last year, or if they didn't play last year, their last year they played most games. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how I rank these people, because I mean, it's been like a week since I actually did the rankings, and every single time I've looked at it, it's been covered up by this thing. So I mean, let's go ahead and see, who did I put in last. Who could it be? And it might not be who you expect, for all you know, with Tom Brady. But it's not, of course. It is actually Sam Darnold. I mean, I'm just not a big fan of him. I don't think he's very good. And I mean, obviously, I don't think he's very good. I think he's the worst starting quarterback right now. Yes, that means he's worse than Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yes, he's worse than Drew Lock. Yes, he's worse than Carson Wentz. I'm just naming someone like the worst starting quarterbacks, I guess. So yeah. By the way, just a clarification, this is not a prediction, so like this is not how well I think they're going to do. This is if they played a game right now, for one, who's going to be starting? Like for the Dolphins, it is Ryan Fitzpatrick and not Tua Tagovailoa, I think that's how you say it, because they're probably not going to be starting him. And yeah, and it's like right now. So I think like Dwayne Haskins, I think he's going to get better throughout the season. But right now, he's only I'm pretty sure he's somewhere towards the middle. All right, and in 31st, it's Drew Lock. And the reasons that I don't have their names on here, I just have the teams, is because I was going to do other names, but either I would have to put no picture and they would give you nothing to look at, or I would have to, squeeze the names so small or make the pictures. I just put the teams. Alright, so let's talk about Drew Lock. And a lot of people think that he's going to be much better this season. And a lot of people think that he was good last year. He only had a 48 quarterback ranking. Quarterback ranking. Which I guess is meh. I mean, it's okay, but the thing is, in 5 games that he played, everyone's saying, oh, he went 4-1. The Broncos went 4-1. They just happened to have Drew Lock as their quarterback. I don't think he did much, seeing as in 5 games he only threw 1,020 yards. The best he could have done is 204 yards each game, which is terrible. Which also tells me that for a lot of games he threw less than 200 yards, which is terrible. Which also tells me that they ran a lot, which also tells me that Drew Lock didn't have a big part in them winning. So don't try to tell me that Drew Lock won all those games. If they had thrown a lot more, for all you know, they would have gone 1-4. All right, and now we have Daniel Jones over here. Now this is another one that if we were doing predictions, he would be much, much higher. I think Daniel Jones is going to get better. I think I had the Giants making the playoffs. Of course, I think he's going to get better. But right now, at this moment, I think that he's just above Drew Lock and Sam Darnold. Not very high at all. I mean, he's got 24 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, which I guess is okay, but I mean, it's not the best. He's only got 3,000 passing yards, which is low. I've already recorded this video once, and then it deleted, so I have to record it again. I know from a fact that as we go up, you're going to see that most quarterbacks have more than 3,000. And in 29th place, we have Baker Mayfield. Unless he does something amazing, unless he has done something amazing over the offseason, and some reason I haven't heard about it, then this is where he is right now. He had terrible numbers last year. I'm looking at this crap. His numbers were bad. Now, he is one of those that I think probably won't be at 29th. If I was to redo these at the end of the season, which for all I know I will, he probably would be not very much higher, but maybe at 26th, 25th. So I think he will get a bit better than, 22 touchdowns and 21 interceptions, which is pretty bad. But I think that, 29th is the place that he is right at this very moment. My outlet's making weird noises. I hope I don't get executed. Let me unplug what I have over there. The thing I had plugged in was making the noise, and it like burned my hand. I need to change outlets. Anyways, talk about Mitch Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky, again, this is another one. If we were doing this like later, I would have said Nick Foles as part of this. But right now, at this moment, I'm pretty sure they're going to start Mitch Trubisky at least in week 1. So, taking that, their starting quarterback at this very second, right now, June 16th, 15th, I don't know what day it is. I'm not going to check because it's on the bottom of the screen. June 16th at 2:58 p.m., he is the starter. All right, and I mean, he only had a 39 quarterback rating, which is bad as crap. He had 17 touchdowns, which is low, and 10 interceptions, which, I mean, it's pretty bad considering he only had 17 touchdowns. And again, he only had 3,100 passing yards, which I guess is better than like Daniel Jones, which is one of the reasons that he's above him, but still, it's not very good. And in 27th, we have the Jaguars. Someone tried to tell me in my comments, and someone actually agreed with them, that they think that the Jaguars are sticking with Gardner Minshew. Now, if they're 100%, I think, gonna be tanking, because honestly, their team, they got a semi-okay team surrounding them. If they get the first overall pick, they can get Trevor Lawrence, which boosts their team up so far, and then they can use those picks to either trade them away to get, all kinds of players, or they could use those picks. But I mean, right now, Gardner Minshew, not looking too well. The only good stat really he has is that he only threw 6 interceptions. So the man isn't throwing too many interceptions. I mean, you can count on him like only throwing 1 interception every like 3 games. He's that kind of guy. Like, yeah, like it's pretty. Like you don't see him throwing a interception every game. So I mean, that's one of the reasons that he's not all the way down there, is that he doesn't throw interceptions. He did not turn the ball over very much last year. Again, he only had 3,200 yards, which is better than a lot of the people below him, but it's not good enough to get him into 26th. Speaking of 26th, guess who's in 26th? But it is Matthew Stafford. How did he get all the way down here? I thought he was semi-okay. Well, I don't, okay? This is another one. I think either at the end of the season, they could be one of the teams looking for another quarterback, or he could prove himself to be a starter, and he could clinch the job for the next few years. But as looking right now, I'm thinking that he's 26th. All right? I mean, he 19 touchdowns, this is pretty low, but he only threw 5 interceptions. So again, another person, and I know he was out for a few games, so that kind of goes into account. This is one of the reasons why I'm not taking the fact that he only threw 2,500 yards into much consideration, although I am taking that into a lot of consideration because he was only out for like 3 games. I actually wouldn't be surprised if it could either be so good that maybe they sneak into that new playoff spot they have, and he clinches the job for a few more years, or it could be so bad that Chase Daniels is starting in the last game. I mean that's possible. All right, and in 25th. We've got Dak Prescott. Boo, whoa, you disgusting boy. Why'd you put Dak Prescott at 25th? Boo, 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 boo. My 3-year-old little brother could throw better than Dak Prescott on a good day. The man is... The only reason that his stats are semi-okay, and I'm taking this into consideration, the fact that his wide receiving core is amazing. This man, I mean, he has weapons for wide receivers. Like, you couldn't ask. I mean, on my wide receiver rankings, Cowboys were number 1. That was loud since no one's home. I mean, honestly, he has the best wide receiving unit, and he's not doing too well with it. He turned it over all over 11 times. It's just not good. And who is going to start off the below average category at 24th? It's Jared Goff. What happened to you, man? What happened? You made it to the Super Bowl 2 years back. You know, you fought hard. You only lost by like 10, either 10 or 13. Yeah, I think you lost by 10 to the Patriots, which I guess is an okay thing. You played in the most boring Super Bowl ever, whatever, but you did play in the Super Bowl, and now you're all the way down at 24th. What's wrong with you, man? Come on. I mean, come on. 16 interceptions and only 22 touchdowns. 48 quarterback ranking. The only thing that's keeping you up here, man, is the fact that you threw for 4,600 yards. I mean, applause on that. You could make an argument for you to be like at 22nd, but still, man. Matt Ryan, the same thing. You made it to the Super Bowl like 3 years ago, and you're doing this like 4 years ago. You're another person who's been in the Super Bowl against the same team. You only lost by 6. Come on, man. And you're only down at 23rd. I guess you've had like 5 years to get worse, but still, at least you're better than Jared Goff. I mean, come on, man. Let's actually, look at your stats so I can prove to these people that I'm right. Freaking 14 interceptions, 26 touchdowns, 57 quarterback ranking. I mean, that's pretty good. So, I mean, this is like, we're near, I don't know what this is going to do when I click. Okay. I mean, this is like average. We're nearing average category, okay? So he's not terrible, but still, man. I figure, if you make it into the Super Bowl, you should be like top 15 your whole career. Come on. To like the last 2 years. Oh, another unpopular opinion from Carsonian Beans. Look, man. If you're going to get mad over me having a different opinion than you, I don't understand what's wrong with you. You're supposed to be watching these videos not to see someone, not to see someone agree with you, but to see someone else's opinion and say, hey, okay, I see their opinion. Let me tell them mine. Not be like, oh, you think Big Ben's bad? And I know he had good stats, but I want you to look at Cam Newton. The man was on fire. Went to a Super Bowl 15-1. They were doing good, making like the playoffs like almost every single year. I know I was in North Carolina. We love him down here. We did until they released him. He got hurt. Oh, game over. They lose like 6 games in a row that one season. He loses 8 straight games, okay? And then he gets injured again. And now he's out of a job. And he's young compared to Big Ben. Big Ben was, taking them to the playoffs, getting like 10 wins, doing, I would like to say, like, around the same, another unpopular opinion, he was the same level as Cam Newton. I mean, heck, whenever Cam Newton got hurt, they were like 6-3. Okay? Like, that's, I mean, they were 6-2. Okay? So don't tell me like, oh, he got 10 wins. They were at 6-2. They were gonna have like 12 wins whenever he got hurt. So don't come at me saying Cam Newton was any worse than freaking Big Ben. Get out of here. But Big Ben was old. I mean, what shows? I mean, he was way older than Cam, and he was at the same level. And then he gets hurt. He's not gonna be too good. I'm sorry that I had a long monologue. Most of y'all probably don't even give a crap, but I'm telling you. And in 21st, we've got the Colts. Pretty sure they have Phillip Rivers as their quarterback. 23 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. I feel like the Colts as a team have a really good. I mean, they obviously are a really good team. I mean, even before Andrew Luck left them, they were They were a force to be dealt with. And then they had a second string, and they still went 7-9. And then you're gonna give them Phillip Rivers. I mean, this team has all the weapons to make the playoffs, not go one and done. But still, I mean, 23 touchdowns, 20 interceptions, 48 quarterback rating. I mean, it's okay. Entering the top 20. I'm going to have to talk faster. I don't know how much time I've got left. We've got Dwayne Haskins. Really? You put Dwayne Haskins? People don't like my opinions. I can already tell. He's only in 20th, okay? Don't freak out, okay? I mean, if you look at him, in his last 2 games that he played, he threw for like 4 interceptions in 2 games, which isn't the best, but I mean, it's better than he was. He had over 100 quarterback rating, right? And for those of you who don't know, I mean, y'all probably see like in week 17, we got crushed by the Cowboys 42-16. Guess who wasn't in that game? That's right, Dwayne Haskins wasn't in that game, okay? You have to understand, okay? He is good. He was getting much better. He was looking like we took the Giants to overtime. We only lost by like 4. We lost. Okay, look. We were down. I know you may look at the Eagles game and say, "Oh, y'all lost by 14 points." The last play was a strip fumble for a touchdown, okay? That game was closer than than the score looks, okay? He has the potential to crush Philadelphia, all right? I'm telling you, he's gotten much better throughout the preseason. I'm trying not to be biased here. All right, 19th, we've got Kyler Murray. I've never been a big fan of him, but I respect him enough to put him in 19th. He has skills. He's good. I mean, he threw 20 touchdowns last year, and he also threw 12 interceptions. But, I mean, he is going to get better this season as he was a rookie last year. So, I mean, yeah. And in 18th, we have Teddy Bridgewater. Another unpopular opinion. I think Teddy Bridgewater is an okay quarterback. He was probably, like, the best backup last year. And, now he's going to be a starter. So, like I have him right here in the average category, he's going to be around the middle as a starter. And, I mean, really, the Panthers need someone who's, like, top 5 to, I mean, if they need, like, freaking Drew Brees if they're going to be carried. But, I mean, really, though, he's pretty good. And in 17th, we've got the Chargers. What? Yeah, really, it might confuse a lot of you. They're not going to start, who'd they draft? Herbert. They're not going to start Justin Herbert. They're starting Tyrod Taylor right now. And I mean, the man had an 89 quarterback rating like 1 or 2 years ago. I don't know when I got these stats from, and he only turned the ball over 4 times. So, he could be much better I'm pretty sure I got those stats from like back when the Bills first made the playoffs, like when they went like, remember when they went like 20 years without making the playoffs, and then they went to the playoffs. Whatever that year was, I'm pretty sure that's where I'm getting those stats from. So he could have gotten worse. And that's why he's so low. But in the meantime, let's talk about Derek Carr. All the way up at 16th, surprising everybody. He only turned the ball over 8 times. He had a 62 quarterback rating. Amazing. Somehow, though, he just can't seem to lift this team. I mean, he's at the end of his rope right now. He needs to get something done. Pretty sure I had them making the playoffs, but I mean, he needs to make a run for the Super Bowl. He needs to do something, okay? So he's just not very good, but he's above average. And in 15th, we've got Jarrett Stidham. Another unpopular opinion. I think Jarrett Stidham is good enough that I'm pretty sure the Patriots are going to tank this year. But I'm going to pretend like they're not, because I'm pretty sure if they didn't, then they probably could make the playoffs again. And for all I know, they could look better than when they had Tom Brady last year. This man is just that good. And I know Tom Brady hasn't showed up yet. Obviously, I obviously know that Tom Brady is much more talented than Jarrett Stidham. But I'm also just trying to say, I mean, in college, he had a 137 quarterback rating. I don't follow college sports. I don't know how good that is. But, I mean, it's pretty good comparing it to, like, Joe Burrow. He only threw 5 interceptions, which is less than Joe Burrow. So, I'm just saying. Of course, this was 2 years ago, and he's gotten time to get much better sitting behind. I mean, look at, like, Patrick Mahomes. He got better sitting behind Alex Smith. He got to sit behind Tom Brady. You think this guy didn't get any better last year? I don't know what's wrong with you. And in 14th, we've got Deshaun Watson. No, let me find him. Yes, Deshaun Watson. I always get DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson, their names mixed up because they're just so similar. All right. I mean, he was good. He threw 12 interceptions, but he also threw 26 touchdowns, almost threw 30. He had a 68 quarterback rating. The man was pretty above average. I mean, he's in the top 15. He is almost into the good category. I mean, this is nothing to be sad about, Texans fans. You could definitely make an argument for him to being possibly in the top 5. But, I mean, when you look at all the stats and you actually look at everything, the Texans are a great team. But Deshaun Watson is not the best quarterback. He's good. When I say not the best, I'm not saying bad. I'm saying that he's literally just not the best. And then in 13th, we've got another, I guess you could call it an unpopular opinion. Jimmy Garoppolo is at 13th. People are going to say that he's at like 29th. I've seen people getting mad at me in my comment section saying, why do you have the 49ers doing so good? He looked terrible in the Super Bowl. Whatever. You say what you want. I think he's going to be 13th. I didn't think he played too bad in the Super Bowl. They were up by 10. He kind of choked at the very end, but that has nothing to do with the fact that they were pretty. I mean, they went 8-0. You can't tell me that quarterback is bad. All right? I mean, 27 touchdowns last year, almost 30, 60 quarterback rating, which is pretty good for the quarterbacks that we've seen so far. Only 7 interceptions, 4,000 yards, which I guess is okay. You can't tell me that this guy isn't bad. You can't tell me that this guy isn't good. He's good. And in 12th, we've got Joe Burrow. This is a pretty, this is going to be weird because he's a rookie. Do I think? I mean, he's a good rookie, obviously. He was taken first overall. Now, is he going to be Kyler Murray and take him to 7-9? Or is he going to be freaking like Tom Brady and take him to the Super Bowl? I'm really sounding like a Tom Brady fan. I hated the Patriots. Now I hate the Buccaneers, which I already did because I live in North Carolina. Obviously, I'm a fan of the Panthers. And just outside of the top 10, he almost made it, buddy. Ryan Fitzpatrick. I forgot I had him up this high. People are going to get mad at me for having the freaking Ryan Fitzpatrick all the way up at 11th. But when you actually take the time to sit down and look at his stats, he had a 66 quarterback rating, 20 touchdowns, 3,500 yards, and I know what you're saying. Why would you put him at 11 with those stats? I want you to think of how bad the Dolphins were last year. I want you to look at how little playtime was basically in between Josh Rosen and Fitzpatrick, so he didn't play for a lot of the season, right? And when he did play, he was okay with the terrible team that surrounded him in the Dolphins. I mean, they still are one of the worst teams in the league. Okay, Tua Tagovailoa is definitely going to help him a lot. I know I have Ryan, but he could do wonders for another team. Heck, if he was to go to the Broncos, or I'm looking up here, if he was to go to the Browns, I don't know. He could help out a team that really needs a quarterback. I don't think he's out of the league just yet. I think he's going to get a few more job opportunities. And in 10th, we have, entering the top 10 is Carson Wentz. I'm a big Carson Wentz hater, but outside of these videos, I'm a big Carson Wentz hater. I'm a big Redskins fan, but when I'm making the videos, I look at the stats, and I have to say Carson Wentz is a top 10 quarterback. It's just a fact that even I can't avoid. 27 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions, 4,000 yards. 60 quarterback rating. It's definitely not elite, but it's good enough to get him in the top 10. All right, now in the 9th spot, we've got what's it called, Ryan Tannehill. It's last year no one would have thought that he would still be on here. That people probably think that either Marcus Mariota was still starting or they would have drafted a rookie that was starting. No one would think that he would be 9th. He is a surprising player. And it's going to be interesting to see if he can keep it up. But I'm going to go ahead and say that he can. 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He only played for the last 8 games, and he has 2,700 yards. That's some good quarterbacking right there. All right, on to the final page. In 8th, we've got, in the really good category, we've got the Bills. By the Bills, I'm talking about Josh Allen. He did throw 9 interceptions, but he did throw 20 touchdowns. I mean, and you also got to take into account the fact that he can run. A lot of these quarterbacks up here you're gonna see are very versatile. The fact that he can move around, really does help him out a lot. Entering 7th, we've got Kirk Cousins, another one that no one would think would be all the way up at 7th this year. Is all the way up here. He played great last season. Took him all the way to the playoffs. Won a playoffs game, which definitely no one expected. I mean, it's amazing the fact that he was able to do that. Let's talk about some stats, though. All right. 26 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. 3,600 yards. I mean, the stats don't hurt him at all. Almost in the top 5. You almost made it, buddy, but at least you made it in the top 10. Tom Brady. Ooh, if this was a predictions, I think the Buccaneers definitely could go all the way to maybe the Super Bowl. Maybe. It is a possibility. Very, very slim one, but still is a possibility. Anyways, with the Buccaneers, we've got. Let me look. Let me find the Buccaneers. They're somewhere on here. Oh, I had to flip the page. All right, he had 24 touchdowns with 8 interceptions, which I guess is okay. He did have 4,000 yards though. Hey, that's pretty good. 53 quarterback rating. And he's going to the Buccaneers, which they're okay. You can make an argument for him to be worse, but again, he is Tom Brady. And entering the top 5, we've got Aaron Rodgers. People were waiting for him. I don't know what to think about Aaron Rodgers. Sometimes, I mean, that year whenever they started out, freaking 4-6-1, he didn't do too well. But this year, last year, he played great. He's not very consistent. In these past few years, 26 touchdowns and 4 interceptions though last year, 4,000 yards, 50 quarterback rating. He seems to be back on track with the old Aaron Rodgers. He seems to be nowhere near retiring if you don't look at his age. If you just look at the stats, this looks like a young guy. But if you look at Aaron Rodgers is old. Almost into the podium. We have Russell Wilson, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Always seems to look like he's going to get worse, and he never does. 31 touchdowns. He's got the 30 touchdown club. And 5 interceptions. So 31 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That's amazing. 69 quarterback rating, which is amazing, really good. Looking at what we've got so far. And 4,100 yards is also pretty good. So, and like I said with Josh Allen, he can move around a lot, which boasts him up quite a lot. All right. And in number 3, we've got Patrick Mahomes. Ooh. Now everyone already knew who the top 3 was gonna be before they even saw the video. They could just sense it. Everyone knows that it's always Patrick Mahomes, Drew Brees, and Lamar Jackson, always in the top 3. Now you don't know what order I put them in, okay? But for all I know, I've already talked about Drew Brees, and I don't remember it because my mind doesn't work. But still, I'm gonna let's shut up. How about that? Patrick Mahomes, 76 quarterback rating. Whoa, 4,000 yards, pretty good. 26 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, and he can move around. He's not known for running, but it's hard to sack him. That's for sure. And in number 2, I'm not gonna reveal number 1, even though you already know who it is. In number 2, we've got Drew Brees. All right. Completely just one of the most elite quarterbacks in the league right now. He is absolutely amazing. 27 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, which is amazing. 71 quarterback rating. Keep in mind, this is when he missed 4 games, and he also had 3,000 yards. So, I'm telling you, he missed games, and he still has really good stats, except for his yards. And who knows, maybe if he had played those games, maybe he'd be better than Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, you already know. I talked about how moving around can really boost what's it called? can really boost, what's it called? I can't think of anything. Can really boost your positioning on here. I want you to think about Lamar Jackson. I want you to think about him moving. I think it makes sense that he's number one. Plus, I mean, let's look at some stats. 3,100 yards. Okay. 36 touchdowns. Only 6 interceptions. And 82 quarterback rating. So combined with an 82 quarterback rating with being better than a lot of running backs, and you have the best player in the league last year, which is why he was MVP. Which is why, I mean, he really should have made the playoffs, but I mean, Ryan Tannehill had other plans. It's just amazing to see a player this good. I mean, you gotta feel lucky that you're watching in like the era of like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and like Dwayne Haskins and all these amazing quarterbacks. I mean, young quarterbacks. Of course, Dwayne Haskins is in 20th and the other two are in 3 and 1. But still, I mean, they're going to be on level playing field. Thank you guys for watching this video so much. I'm pretty sure I have my Twitter, what's it called? Link in the description. If I don't, then I guess I was being lazy tomorrow whenever I edit and upload this. Anyways, thank you for watching the whole thing. Let's see if it's still recording. And it is 31-minute long video. Thank you so much. I mean, it's great to know that someone watched the whole video. If you're watching this and you're amazing, keep an eye out, because in 2 days or 1 day or today or yesterday or a year ago, depending on when you watch this, I will drop my final preseason rankings. Power rankings, sorry. And let me tell you, it gets a little weird because the way I did it is, I've done all these ranking videos for all these types. I'm going to get that out of the way. For all of these, like, players, like I've done quarterbacks, I've done my receivings, I've done running backs, I've done defensive line, I've done defensive linebackers, I have done everything. Secondaries, I've done kickers, freaking everything except the O-line. And I took every single, where every team ranked on that, and I averaged them out to find their average spot, and then I ranked them. Like the worst was the person with the highest score, because I mean, the higher your average, that means the closer you were to 32nd. And the number one the number one team was the team with the smallest average. So it gets pretty weird. I mean, this is obviously what I think, but I mean, it's different than if I had made power rankings. So it's going to be pretty cool to see. I've already got all the power rankings done. I've got that whole slideshow made. I just got to record it and upload it. I'll see you guys when that drops. In the meantime, though, I wish I had a catchphrase in my videos. Yeah.